Greetings, grade 5. I am teacher Vince, okay, and I'm going to be your English language arts teacher for this school year 2020 to 2021. Okay, so for those of you who already know me, yes, I'm going to be your English language arts teacher again for this school year. For those of you who are new, welcome. Okay, I'm going to be your English language arts teacher for this school year. Again, my full name is Teacher Vince Kasupang. Okay, I have it there in the description online. I already posted it. Okay, I'm going to be your. I was the English language arts teacher last school year, and I'm going to be the ELA teacher again for this school year. I'm also currently the advisor for grade 6B. Okay, so for this video, I will be discussing different things that you're going to be expecting for grade 5 ELA, and a few things that you guys would have to take note of, procedures, requirements, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's start with the video. Let's jump right in already with the video. Okay, so intermediate level English language arts by me, Sir Vince Kasupang. Okay, so these are the objectives of this video. So for this video, I'll be discussing what is ELA. I'll also be discussing the general scope of ELA. So that's going to be what you're going to be expecting for ELA. Also, I'm going to be teaching you I'm going to be discussing the grading system. Okay, the procedures, right? The requirements that you guys would need for ELA, and of course the rules for ELA. Okay, so let's begin. What is ELA? For those of you who are new, okay, this might be new for you guys, English language arts, because for a lot of schools it's usually just English class or language class, right? So most of you, it might be just a new term for you guys, English language arts. For those of you who are my former students, I did discuss this last school year, but I'd like to refresh it again, okay? Just so that everyone would have a nice idea of what ELA is, or a clearer picture of what ELA is. So ELA it's the study of the improvement of language, specifically the English language, through reading, writing, speaking, listening, and viewing. So again, it's not just a language class. It's not just your typical language class, or not just your typical English class. No, this is going to be a class wherein I would be teaching you how to improve the language. How are you going to incorporate the language through reading when you're comprehending things, through writing, through speaking, through listening, through viewing. All of these things are all packed into this one subject, ELA. Okay? So that's what we're going to be learning, and that's what ELA, or English Language Arts, stands for. Now, this is going to be the general scope of your topic of ELA. What are you going to be expecting for ELA? Okay? So what to expect? I did mention that ELA would require that it's a combination of the reading, of writing, of grammar, of listening, of speaking, and of viewing. But due to the current situation that we have right now, okay, what we're having right now, this online learning, or even those who are not going to be doing the online learning, it's going to be through the packets. Okay, this is how we're going to be doing things. Okay, so for this school year, it's going to be this. Okay, I will only be teaching you these three, just the grammar, the writing, and the speaking. The other three, the reading, the listening, and the viewing, will be taught by your reading teacher, Teacher Brenda. Okay? But for me, I'm going to be tackling these three. Now, don't worry, I'm going to be still incorporating a little bit of the listening, a little bit of the viewing, okay? So that it would all tie in nicely with ELA, okay? So, but again, like I said, due to what's happening right now, the many limited things that we can and can't do, okay? We're only going to be focusing on these three things. Now, for grammar, what are your expected things that you're going to be learning for grammar? We're going to be tackling again the subject-verb agreement rules. For those of you who are my students last school year, we did already tackle a lot of this. We're going to do it again, but this time we're going to be upgrading it. Okay, stepping it up a notch. For those of you who were not my students last school year, but have already an idea of SVA rules, subject verb agreement rules, it's going to be a much tougher discussion, and a lot much tougher, a much more leveled up discussion of the subject verb agreement rules. Also, I'm going to be discussing how you're going to be using nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, not just using the words, but also using them in sentences, in creating and forming sentences and paragraphs. And sentence patterns. Okay, you're going to be taught sentence patterns as early as now. That way, you guys sort of have a clearer view, and when you reach grade 6, it's not going to be as tough. Okay, it won't be that much of a it won't be that challenging to learn it already. Okay, so this school year you're going to be learning the sentence patterns. Okay, for speaking, I'm going to be teaching you how to properly pronounce, enunciate, and articulate words. Pronunciation is how you pronounce, how you say things. Enunciate is how you exactly say or voice or sound the different parts of the word. Okay, and articulate will be how are you gonna create different sounds as well. Okay, that's how it would work. Speech exercises, it's going to be me teaching you guys how you would exercise your different speech articulators, different body parts that you use for creating speech. For those of you who are my students last school year, we're going to go through the speech exercises again. For those of you who are new, it's going to be, and if you did not have this from the previous year, it's basically an exercise on how to make sure that all of the things, body parts that you use for creating speech would be exercised. Okay, I will be explaining why it's important and whatnot later on. Okay, not later on, but later on as we go through with the school year. Voice modulation, I'm going to be teaching this as well. Expect this around the second quarter. I'll be teaching you how to modulate your voice. How are you going to make your voice from this normal speaking voice to a much deeper and richer voice, just like this. The voice modulation is a very important strategy that you could use so that you are able to properly give a nice spoken presentation. Okay, so that's what you're going to be expecting for speaking. For writing, it's going to be the 6+1 traits of writing, okay, and the writing process. Now, these two things, I cannot go as specific as I'd like to already with these because of the very tight schedule that I have with the different things that I have to teach you through your books, because I'm going to be focusing mainly on the books, okay? But I will still be incorporating these things, the 6+1 traits for writing and the writing process, okay? For those of you who this is new for them, basically 6+1 traits of writing will be just the different traits that you should have as a writer. And the writing process is a process wherein it would effectively give you a good written result, okay? More on that for this school year. Now, written compositions, what are the things that you are going to be expecting that you're going to be writing? You're going to be writing different things like poems, letters, narratives, stories, news articles, and not speeches. Speeches is for grade 6. You guys are grade 5, so speeches are not meant for you guys. Yeah, it's not included in the list. It's just there for the PowerPoint presentation, but for you guys, grade 5, speeches is not part of it, okay? Now, typical question. Sir, is this graded? Okay, how am I going to grade you? Well, to answer this question, is it graded? For most of what I would ask you to answer, yes, most of them will be graded. Only a very few, selected few, I will also indicate which are not graded, but only a few of them are not. But for most of them, they all are graded. Okay? Now, this is how I would grade you for English Language Arts 5. So, the grade will be coming from 3 different things: the exams, your written works, and your performances. For your exams, you only have 1 exam per quarter. So you have 4 quarters. So 1 exam per quarter. This is going to be 20% of the grade. For your written works will be everything that you write down, basically. These are made up of your write-ups, okay? These are the short ones, short paragraphs that you create, okay? These are all tied in for your written works. And your seat works. Seat works are in the form of exercises. So in your books, you might notice there are exercises there. exercise 1, 2, okay? Those are your seat works. And then your quizzes would take form of lesson tests. So after each lesson in your books, right, you have a lesson test. That is going to be graded as your quiz. Now, for the lesson tests, okay, I'm not usually gonna let you answer all of them. It's just usually the test 3 and 4 usually, okay? So these are just gonna be made up of different things that we've discussed for the week, okay? That's going to be your quiz. Performances, scratch the speeches. That's not part of it, but it's going to be made up of your projects. Projects will be published works. These are the big projects that I would let you guys do, let you guys create. Usually I give 1 to 2 projects per quarter, okay? So expect that. That's going to be 40% of your grade, okay? Procedures. Now I will be discussing how are you going to be submitting things, how are you going to be doing your activities, and whatnot, okay? So for those of you who are going to be doing the activities online, those of you are going to be submitting works online, or those of you who did acquire the learning packet, avail the learning packet, but would still opt for online, it's going to be like this, okay? You're going to submit the works answered in the books. Yes, you're going to answer all of the activities in your books. Not all, but all of the activities that I would let you answer mostly are in your books. Sometimes some of them will be in your notebooks or in one whole sheet of paper, or especially for your quizzes. Not quizzes, projects, okay? They're gonna be in different sheets of papers. But for most of what your activities, they're usually in your notebooks, okay? So in your books, okay? So how are you going to submit those, okay? I would need you guys to take a clear picture of these activities. Make sure it's clear, class, okay? Make sure that the photos that you would submit to me are clear. How would I know if it's clear? How would you know if it's clear? Clear would be you could understand it, you could read it, you could see the answers clearly. How are you going to take clear photos of your works? Okay, you could take a photo during the mornings wherein the lighting is good, or you could take a photo with nice clear lighting, okay? Please make sure the photos are clear, okay? And then you're going to be attaching them to the corresponding assignment in the site in Schoology, okay? So they're going to be, setup will be, you have a course, then you have different folders for different different grade levels, 4, 5, 6, and then for those different folders, you have different folders again for the different weeks. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Okay. So with those different weeks, okay, I want you guys to please make sure that you go to the right week, okay, and then you're going to submit the assignments there and the specific tab that says assignments. Okay. Now, you might be wondering, sir, why do we need notebooks? Why do you require notebooks when most of the things are already in the books, or most of them are going to be discussed online? Well, the answer is simple. Your notebooks are there for if you have other activities that I would require you guys to do that are not found in your books. That's where your notebooks would come in. Or you could also be using them for when you take down notes with my discussions. Especially, I tend to have discussions that are not mainly or not mostly in the books. Most of them are in the books, yes, but I do have a lot of additional information, a lot of additional things that I give, okay? You could use your notebook to take down notes there, okay? Now, you might be asking, Sir Vince, do we need to do the cornell note-taking? Because last school year you did, right? For those of you who are my former students, and for those of you who are my new students, and you might see the notebook and it has different partitions, that's for the cornell note-taking. Do you need to do it? I will not require it. No need. If you like to still do it, it's fine. But if you do not want, it's fine as well. Okay? That's how it would look like. Okay. What about for those who are going to be doing things through the learning packets? Now, for the learning packets, these are those students who availed who avail the activities that are, what do you call this? Who avail the activities but do not have or have limited internet connection or do not have internet connection at all. Okay, so these are the learning packets. They usually come in every 2 weeks. Okay, how are you going to submit your activities there? You're going to be having your notebooks. That's what your notebooks are for those of you who are not going to be submitting them online. Okay, that's where your notebooks come in. You will put all of your answers in the notebooks. Okay, and I would only require you guys to put there your answers, only answers, just the answers only. No need to copy the instruction, unless the instruction is encircle the word in the sentence or underline the word in the sentence or box the word in the sentence. That's when you have to write the sentences. But if it's not necessary, when you could just put there one answer, then just place the answers only. Okay, now for the next 2 weeks, okay, because usually you have 2 packets. The first one is going to be the first 2 weeks, and then the next one will be for the next 2 weeks. Okay, for those of you who are going to be doing the learning packets, the second weeks or the next 2 weeks, the third and fourth week, you could have either another notebook. You can have another notebook, or you could have to write. You could put your answers in a whole sheet of pad paper. Okay, that's how you could do it. So you have 2 options. You could either have 2 notebooks, one for the first 2 weeks and then another one for the next 2 weeks, or you could have just one notebook, one for the first 2 weeks, and then for the next 2 weeks you're gonna have them in your one whole sheet of pad paper, in different whole sheets of pad papers. Okay, now this is going to be the format of how it would look like. This is how I would like to see your activities. For those of you who are going to be submitting them in your notebooks, this is how it would look like. Okay, in your notebooks, it would look like this. Okay, week number. Okay, you put there, indicate the week number. It's going to be the top part of your notebook. In the middle part of that notebook, it's going to be, you're going to put their week number. So week number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then date. Top right will be your date. Okay, write the date. Next, activity name. Activity name will be exercise 1 or exercise 2 or exercise 1A, 1B. Okay, write the activity name there, and then you're going to be enumerating it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Okay, downwards. Now, especially in the weeks, I have quite a lot of exercises that I would like you guys to answer. Okay, so for each week, I would let you guys answer different exercises, usually more than 2 exercises per week. Okay, for the next exercise, the next activity that you're going to be placing down, okay, leave a space. Leave one space and then write the next activity. Okay, so for those of you who are going to be answering as well with a paragraph, okay, that will be how it would look like. Exercise, for example, exercise 4, okay, and then below it, put an indentation. That will be the space before your paragraph, and then start the paragraph already. Okay, that's how it would look like. Okay, now, what about those with paper? How would it look like if you're going to be submitting things through your paper? Now, through the paper, it's going to look like this. Okay, the top part is slightly different. So in your paper, right, there's that big space in the paper, the pad paper, that big space on top. And the big space, you place your name, okay, and then grade level section. Below the name, grade level section. So for example, Vincent Noel Sikasupang, then below that will be 5A or 5B, depending on the section that you have. Okay, and then on the top right, date. Write date. So that will be, for example, the date that you're going to be doing it. And then below the date, it's going to be Ella. Don't forget, write Ella. Now, the reason for that is because we tend to have different activities submitted. So, indicate the subject, Ella, okay? And then same format with the notebook downwards already. So, activity name, so exercise 1 or 2, and then leave a space, and then the next exercise already, or lesson test, okay? Next, format for write-ups and paper. Okay, for write-ups and paper, it would look like this. Okay, So write-ups would be your different written activities. I will be telling you if it's a write-up or not. It will be indicated. Now, for the write-ups in your paper, it would look like this, okay? Name, and then grade level section. So it should look like that, and then date, and then Ella. But in the middle part, instead of writing the week number, okay, like I'll just go back really quick. For activities in the paper, the one in the middle is the week number, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if it's going to be a write-up, you're going to have activity title. Activity title will be indicated as well in the PowerPoint presentations that I submit. So usually they go like, it will be indicated there, for example, news writing, news article writing, and so forth. Okay, write it down there. And then on the very first line of your pad paper, not the top part, the very first line of your pad paper, in the middle, give it a title. Give your works a title. And then you will start your paragraph. But you will not start the paragraph on the next line. No, you will skip one line. So you might see there, it's indicated there, skip one line. So skip one line. So after the title, skip a line, and then start the paragraph on the third line. Okay? Start it there. Don't forget your indentation. Then you write your paragraph, continue your paragraph, and then when you're going to continue it, do not continue it on the line below. No. Skip another line and then continue it there. Okay? So always skip one line. Okay? Always skip one line. That's how it would look like. For those of you who are going to be submitting write-ups in your notebooks, okay, it would look like this, except that you do not have to anymore place your name, grade level section, and Ella. No need. Just write the activity title at the top middle and then the date. That's it. Okay? And then the rest is all the same. Alright? Now, why the strict format? Why, Sir Vince, why are you strict with your format? It's very important. It's because, class, you guys are growing up already. You're grade 5. That means you're going to be, you're getting closer to high school. And when you go reach high school, class, you're going to be needing to follow a lot of very strict formats as well. And then even after high school, when you reach college, even more stricter formats. And then after college, when you get a job, when you work in an office or whatnot, right, you would have to follow very strict formats. So this is a very, very important training ground or opportunity to train you guys to learn how to follow strict formats. Okay? Okay. Now, what do you need for Ella? What are the requirements for Ella? What are the things that you need for Ella? Well, I'm not requiring a lot of things. Okay? I only require just a few. You need 1 or 2 notebooks. It's up to you again. Like I said, it's up to you. Would you like 1 or 2 notebooks? It's up to you guys, okay? So 1 or 2 notebooks, especially for those who have availed the learning packets, you could just have 1 or 2. The notebooks should be either OYSYL notebooks or university notebooks. Now we did require that it's going to be OYSYL notebooks, the one with the partitions, the kernel note partitions. But if for the second notebook, the notebook 2, if you're not able to get the OYSYL notebook, you could have another notebook, the university notebook. It's fine, the big ones. Or if you want another OYSYL notebook, it's fine as well. Okay? 2 pens. You need 2 pens. 1 pen would be black pen. That's going to be labeled as the pen for writing. And then the other will be a colored pen. Okay? Colored pen. So this colored pen would be any color except red or white or black. Okay, because you already have 1 black pen. So it's going to be a different colored pen except red, white, or black. Okay. Now this other colored pen is going to be your pen for checking. You're going to be using this especially when I tell you guys to check your works. Okay. Especially, for example, when we come back to school. Okay. When you come back to school, when things are all clear out and things are going to be all normal again. Okay. This is what you're going to be using. Pen for checking, especially when you exchange and whatnot. Okay. And then correction tape if you like. If you don't, it's fine. You're not required. This is usually meant for grade 6 students. Okay. And rules. Now we come to the very important part of this video. Rules. Okay. We will be bringing out or putting out a video wherein you guys are going to be, it's either a video or an image, or we're just going to be listing them down. But let me just give you, let me just reiterate, or just let me just emphasize a few important rules that I need you guys to follow. Okay, especially during synchronous classes. So these are the classes that we do wherein we create a virtual video conference, and then we would have to meet each other face to face through the different video conferencing apps. Okay, so when we have a video conference, I want you guys to do the following. Number one, mute yourselves. Yes, mute yourselves. Now, sir, but if we have to ask you, or you want to talk or something, then you have to raise your hand. The raise hand, there is a raise hand option there. Okay, you have to click it, and I will see, and then I will unmute you. Okay, that's how it would work. But when you come in, please mute yourselves. Okay. Number two, turn on your cameras. Yes, important. Mute yourselves and then turn on your cameras. So please make sure that it's a background. You're like, you have a nice good background. Okay, not your messy rooms or whatnot. Okay, give it a nice good background. Turn on your cameras. No eating during the synchronous classes. No eating. You could eat after the class, because you're usually given around 10 minutes before the next class. Okay, so no eating. Okay, no eating. Okay, but you can have drinks. You can bring drinks. It's fine, right? So you can drink juice, water. It's fine. Okay, and connect early. Okay, very important. Connect early. Okay. Now, rule number 2 will be regarding late works. So we have indicated it that if you submit your activities late, then it's going to be 0. I'm sorry to say, that's how it would work. If your works are submitted late, it's gonna be 0. So in the online, with the assignments, you have specific deadlines there. Please make sure you read the instructions carefully so that you know exactly how long you have until you submit it. Okay, but late works, 0. Okay. Number 3, no contacting me on Fridays. I am a Jehovah's Witness, and we have what we call midweek meetings. And during midweek meetings, we have that's usually the time wherein we have meetings during the midweek. So around this time, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., no contacting me, no chatting, no texting, whatnot. Okay. Number 4, make sure the photos are clear. Very, very important. Any unclear photos are going to be marked down. So that means if your photos are unclear, so for example, in your photo, it looks like you've written down an E, but it looks like an O, or I read it as an O, then I'm going to be reading it as an O. Okay? So please make sure, very important, that your photos are clear. And number 5, respect. Very important. As I respect your different opinions, your different I respect you as my students. I want you guys to also return that same respect, not just to me, but also to your classmates. Okay? And that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that this school year will be a fun one, great one. Okay, despite the many challenges that we have for this school year, I will still try to make it as fun as, especially for those former students. I will still try to make it as fun as we used to have, right? Okay, but yeah, if you have any concerns, any questions, you can contact me. I'll be giving my information at the first page of the course, or you could just contact me through Messenger or through my number. Okay? With that said, I hope that we will have a good school year, and I will see you on the first week. Bye!